possibilities. And,
that's right.
And you know, the Drake equation is a nice way of parameterizing, as you point, our ignorance. But it's interesting. Actually, I've never said this in a public forum, but I have a problem with the Drake equation in the sense that in physics, at least, we don't use absolute probabilities. In a particle physics experiment where there are millions of things happening, the thing we're looking for may have a probability of 1 in a million. But it could be that every other possibility has a probability 1 in a billion.
Yeah.
And then even though this rare thing is rare in an absolute sense, it'll be 1,000 times more probable than anything else. So the question to me that might be interesting is not only just how rare is life, but is there, if you look at all the different pathways, how many pathways don't lead to life?
Yeah.
And it may be that even if it's rare, it's much less rare than the possibility there's no life. So
yes,
I'm
indeed.
optimistic.
Yes.
Of course, as you point out, it's life and intelligent life are two huge.
Well, intelligent life, that's another whole barrier. If we think of a set of barriers to intelligent life evolving, the first barrier is to get life at all. And that, it looks as though that barrier is more or less synonymous with getting the first gene, getting the first self-replicating coded information. And I think that probably has to be digital, as DNA is digital. I'm not confident of that, but it probably does. It probably does not have to be DNA. It could be some other digital molecule. But then intelligence is another barrier way, way down the line. And there may be lots and lots of planets that have something like bacterial life, and only a tiny minority of them get to the point of having intelligent life.
It's certainly not obvious that intelligence is an evolutionary imperative. It's certainly clear that the road on Earth was a series of accidents, including extinction of the dinosaurs, etc. Although whether the dinosaurs would become intelligent if they'd hang around, I don't know. But
they hung around for quite a long time.
Without becoming.
Yes.
There's that I love that. I love that famous cartoon with the dinosaurs smoking cigarettes, and it says, "Why the dinosaurs went extinct."
Yes. Yeah.
It is. Well, the interesting question is we don't. The interesting point is we don't know, and it's a long shot. Even if there are a billion life forms, even in our galaxy, which is 100 billion, may have 100 billion solar systems. There's questions of how long. I mean, on Earth, you could have been watching the Earth for the last 4.5 billion years if you were on another star, and only during the last 50 years would you have known about intelligent life.
Which is probably the only way you'd know about life at all, because that's the only way that information about life could have seeped out.
Yeah, although we were just talking to a young astronomer the other day when we were up at Mount Stromlo, that when we will, I think, in the lifetime of many people in this room, have at least a sense of the possibility of life on different stars, because we can detect planets around those stars by looking at the planets going in front of the stars. Amazingly, it dims the star by less than 1%, a tenth of a percent of the light, you can see it. But some of that light gets absorbed in the atmosphere, and one of the things you look for is oxygen. Because on the Earth, there was no free oxygen in the early history of the Earth, and so if you saw free oxygen in that planet, all the free oxygen on Earth was created by life. So it wouldn't tell you there's intelligent life, but it might tell you if there's microbial life. And so there are ways that we might, in our lifetime, get some empirical evidence for that.
It would be very exciting if we detected a lot of free oxygen on a planet, certainly, yeah.
So I think there's hope that we'll have a lot more empirical evidence one way or another in our lifetime, at least of the possibility of life in general. I'm actually very pessimistic personally about the possibility of ever detecting other intelligence, because it's also not clear how long intelligence survives. Well, if you look around